in soccer. That's the awesome.
No gavel? Oh, thank you. Welcome one and all to the friendly Westwood Village Rotary Club, or the Rotary Club of Westwood Village. I'd like to welcome our visiting Rotarians, past District Governor Younited and her husband, Mark Amelli. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And welcome to those joining us on Zoom. We're going to have a Zoom program today from Israel. That's going to start at 1 p.m.
By the way, we have some guests just walking in.
Okay.
Oh, a visiting Rotarian, Sam Butler.
Val's here too.
We brought some friends for the
Val? Sam, can you introduce your friends, your visiting
Yes, of
visitors?
course. So hi everyone, good to see you. We haven't seen each other in a while. Today's our friend Rachel. She's gonna be seeing us for the second time. I think we met there before. Very special guest. And Alina is a side. I think she's Alina. And there's Alina, also a special guest that's going to be joining us for today. So
Rachel and Alina,
yeah.
welcome to Westwood Village Rotary. I didn't have a chance to write those down with my new pen. I got a new pen, by the way, and it writes underwater. It writes other words too. I used to be a runner for many, many years, and I never did run a marathon in 2025 or 2024 or 2023 or 2022 either. This is a running joke. I really love, we're very literate here, and I love the word plethora. It means a lot to me.
Can you please tell people what that means?
You just got to pay. It's a lot.
I understand. Nobody else.
Au contraire. I think people got it. But thank you for reaching out. So this year's Rotary logo or Rotary saying is Unite for Good. And it characterizes what Rotary does. We're Rotarians all around the world, 34,000 clubs, all doing good and doing good together with the foundation, among other things. Ethan? Can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mike, you don't need to sit down, Mike. Come up and give us the word of the day. Is this, I should speak in very close to your chin.
So my thought for the day is an attempt to emphasize common good, united, respect, ethics, peace. And my thought for the day is related to the Younited School in Israel, as they are a diverse community committed to cross cultures, cooperation, and helping find common good or teach us all. And my belief underneath everything is that we all love each other and that we should be getting along. And I don't know why things go haywire. But in the same relation to this school, I look at Rotary. Yes, I've been told, I told Mark Rogo once, I consider Rotary my second religion. But Rotary too has made the world a diverse community. We've expanded all over the world, and we do service projects, particularly Polio Plus, water projects, building schools, and now a whole movement in peace with Marcia Hunt is very involved in. Both there's peace centers and now a new peace group, which I'm not naming properly, Marcia, but I forget what it's called. Yes. Right. Because I know I tried to continue part of the Gandhi Trust to that, but I couldn't because it wasn't an official club yet. But anyways, so Rotary has the same bringing diverse people together. And then I also want to, our Rotary Foundation is instrumental in that. And I don't know how many people really recognize it. When Bob Simon was coming to the club and hadn't become a member yet, and we were just chatting, he reminded me that it's one of his favorite charities because it maybe isn't known by all. But if you look at statistics, the Rotary Foundation is either the best or almost the best at not having overhead and your dollar goes where it needs to go. And we should be proud of that. And again, I like to think all religions have a common good underneath, that regardless of what the faith and its own teachings may be, that all religion is geared towards common good, family, and children, and making that all happen. So with that, my thought for the day is a hope that the common good and the things I've just talked about remain forever and hopefully grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I just omitted introducing myself. I'm Bob Simon. I'm a relatively new member of the club, substituting for President Mark Rogo.
Bob?
The question is, how many years have I been in Rotary? I've been in Rotary for more than 30 years. I started in Santa Barbara with the Santa Barbara Sunrise Club, and then Fullerton South, Fullerton, Maine, and now Westwood Village, who has the best programs of any Rotary Club I've attended. Here. Thank you, Janet, for being our greeter today. And Diane, I hope can do the windmill, but I don't see her here.
It's recorded.
Oh, very good. Okay. Ethan,
What makes Westwood the best one?
what makes Westwood the best Rotary Club? In my experience, it's the quality of the programs. Now, I wanted to recognize Marcia Hunt. Marcia, when you finish chewing, I'd like you to explain exactly what the Emmy Awards were awarded for, because nobody really understands that here. Thank you, Tia. No, you don't need to.
Working for Fox Sports for a long, long time, as long as you've been a Rotarian, pretty much my adult life here. And I've gotten Emmy. I started off just coming in as a single producer to do one job as a freelancer. And I have to admit, I kind of owe my career to Terry Bradshaw. Do you guys all know who Terry Bradshaw is? Well, anyway, I was doing that one-off job, which was like a little promo at one of the stages at Fox. And then we were finished at about 2:30. And Terry Bradshaw went up to a couple of the big wigs at Fox and said, I don't know what you guys did that was different, but usually these things are all, he used some foul language, but they go till 10:30 at night, but this one ran smooth as glass. I don't know what you did that was different. And look, we're leaving now and just keep doing it. And the guys just kind of looked at each other and looked over at me. And then I got invited back for a second one, and then a third, a fourth, and a 287th. But anyway, I've won Emmys for, producers and as a producer, and for the best promos or the best commercials and things like that. They have a whole sports category, and it's all in sports. And for best promo, best this, that, best art direction, best, So anyway, if I added up all the ones that people working for my production company have won, it would be like a considerable amount, but I've never actually added those up, like the art directors and editors and all that sort of thing. But anyway, but it's all sports related. And right now I'm working on Men's World Cup soccer. It's not till June, but have to start working on it a little in advance, to get everything to run smoothly. But that's very about it.
I've been dying to know. Now, Ed, come up and lead us in the song of the day, please.
Sure.
Our Rotary choir master.
Could you all stand, please, for the song? Now, I thought we'd have a patriotic song. I remember one of the ships I was on was sailing to Cuba, and I was looking forward to Mike having liberty in Cuba, and there was no better place than Cuba. And one of the reasons was it was run by the mafia. That means there was no petty crime, but everything else was on limits. You could do anything you wanted. And I remember one of the couple of fraternity brothers went to Cuba.
And what year was that, Ed?
It was 1955. No, it was 1958. But when we got to Cuba, Castro had taken over. And we were confined to Guantanamo Bay. And you couldn't go into the neighboring city, which is San Diego, which was a big disappointment. But that was the end of having fun in Cuba. But anyway, I think I'd like to sing Anchors Away, and I'll put a hat on. There's nothing like my old Navy hat. Okay, let's give it a shot. Anchors away, my boy, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Through a last night ashore, wherever we roam, until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'd also like to welcome on Zoom Ron Leister, Nancy McCready, Carol Rosenstein, Steve Scherer, Chuck McCreary, and Clare King Lassman, who we'll hear from around 1 o'clock. Oh, and Ed Jackson, thank you for coming by Zoom. We've already done this. Okay, I want to announce that there's going to be a bingo night in the Lawndale Community Center in 2 days. So all you bingo buffs, that'll be starting at, well, I don't know. There are 10 games at $100 payout each, blackout game at $500 payout, a buffet dinner, and a DJ vocalist, Marion Wells. The cost is $65 a person. You can pay through Zelle, and I believe it starts around dinner time. Let's see, 4 to 7 p.m., November 15th. That's Saturday night. So in case your Saturday night isn't already taken, you can do that. So this week in history, November 10th, 1775, the Continental Marines were founded. This became the U.S. Marine Corps. So that was many, many years ago. And of course, in November 11th, which we celebrated on Tuesday, was the Armistice Day, the end of World War I. And a notable woman, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, was a prominent political reformer and visionary leader, was born November 12th, 1815. And in 1927, this week, New York's Holland Tunnel opened. Does anyone know where the Holland Tunnel, what the Holland Tunnel connects? New Jersey with New York, with Manhattan? Thank you. And then this is, in 1851, Moby Dick was published first. And November 15, 1956, was Elvis Presley's first movie was released. And finally, in 1907, Oklahoma became the 46th state. We're a bit early. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Oh, I'm currently acting as the fine master. So if you do not have a rotary pin on, you'll be fined $5. Wow, I see. Dave? Okay, Dave. Michael, Jim Duringt. Sorry that I'm supposed to have a pin on. Okay, very good. I don't see it.
I got a pen. I have a very. Just use this.
Ethan?
Start date. Yes.
Fine.
He's hiding it.
Oh,
No, I.
Very good. Well, Sam.
Well, they won't get us to the end of the week.
It's supposed to be a rotary pin.
They want to go.
Yeah, you did.
That's a good process. I thought now I'm the fastest.
That should work, should qualify, but I haven't.
Finally, I just wanted to share something with you. I thought the dryer was shrinking my clothes. It turns out it was the refrigerator all along. So now I want to take this opportunity to welcome Clare King. Clare?
Claire, hello. How are you all?
Very good, thanks.
Thank you very much for inviting us. First of all, I wanted to say that
Thank you.
when I see Unite for Good, it makes me even more proud of the name of our school, which is Younited. And I'm not sure how many of you are there, and I'm not sure how many of you have heard from Nurit Gary, who is the managing director of Younited. But I don't want to repeat I don't know how much you know, but I'll just give you a little bit of background. And I also want to really start by saying thank you to your club, because you've been supporting our project now for a few years, and we're very, very, very grateful to you. I would really like this to be a kind of discussion. Now, we have our first day of rain in the country. And what happens when it rains in this country the first time is everything goes crazy. And some of our students who I wanted to come today, their electricity is down. And so they're not going to be able to join us. But hopefully the ones that will come will inspire you completely. So can someone just give me a heads up if you know about the school? Just because I'm not sure to what extent you do know about the school, right? I see Nancy nodding. And there are people in the room, are there?
We know, but we also have guests that might not be so give a short introduction.
Okay, absolutely. So Younited International School is in Israel, and it was established 7.5 years ago. And the idea behind it was to bring together, it's a high school, it's a boarding school, and to bring together diverse groups of high schoolers, people who would never normally have the chance to live and learn together. Specifically because of the context of Israel, it's 1/3 Jewish students from Israel, 1/3 Arab students from Israel, And 1/3 are international students that come from around 20 different countries. And the idea is they come together and they're building a community that has a wonderful academic curriculum. I don't know if any of you know the International Baccalaureate degree, diploma. But as well as that, they are building a community, they're building a democratic community, and they're really getting to know each other on an extremely deep level to understand that when we know each other and when we learn to listen to each other, then we really, even if we have different views, we can find a way. And ultimately it's about trying to find peaceful solutions to this country and to the countries where all our students come from. So they're with us for 2 or 3 years. We have a 10th grade, which is for local students, Jews and Arabs. And again, I'm not sure if you know, but in this country, Jews and Arabs don't mix very much. They speak different languages. They have different school systems. They usually live in different areas. So even though it's a very small country, often you don't know the people in your midst, not really. And so what we try and do is we bring them together so that they will learn the skills to one day be the leaders of tomorrow. But it was very important to the people who originally started the school that they would not be, the Jews are here and the Arabs are there and we wear the t-shirt and this is what we've got to represent. And by making it an international school, an English-speaking school, people were coming in from outside and they were kind of not mediators, but it was just all English-speaking school and everybody coming in together and bringing their culture and their religions and their narratives into the mix. And we're now, as I say, 7 years on, and it's been an interesting time. We started with Corona. It was in our 2nd year. And I'm just going to our students are asking a few questions. Just a second. I'm just going to tell them just they're asking, we're checking if they've actually got hold on. Okay, sorry. I'm going to get them to join in just a minute, but sorry. Where was I? I was talking about the fact that in 7 years we have seen remarkable things happen. Obviously, and I'm sure you all know, the last 2 and something years have been very challenging in this country. And in spite of everything that happened outside our school, our students have remained absolutely focused on the mission, which is to live together, to learn together, to listen to each other, to try and understand that even when they don't agree, if they are respectful to each other, they'll find a way through. And life is not always about agreeing, but it's about understanding that the only way forward is to respect and hear your neighbors, and they become friends. Is there anything specifically people who know Younited would like me to talk about a little more, or shall I encourage some of our students to come in? I invited 4. One of them he's from Nazareth, and unfortunately there's a total, the electricity is down where he is. So he's hoping to join, but we're not sure it'll happen, but we'll see. So the mission of the school is absolutely about building bridges and coming together in a spirit of conflict resolution and towards a future of peace. And of course, they're all leaders. All our students.
So you.
Hello, are you there? All our students are chosen and selected, and it's quite a difficult process to get in. They're chosen not just on their academic ability, but also on their ability to be leaders, to to want to change the world, to want to make it a better place, to have passion to make it a better place. We don't just want academics. There are lots of academic schools out there. We need people that can change this country and the countries they go back to. And one of the other things that happens with our international students, and particularly in the last 2 years, it's been very tough on campuses out there. It's been a tough place on campus, but our students will go and say, I recognize what you're saying, but I have seen this country. I have lived in this country for 2 years, and it's not everything that we see in the news, and that's very important. We have kind of informal ambassadors out there. We have students from many religions and many cultures. But I think they tell the story much better than I do. So I'm going to suggest that they come into this Zoom call. Let's see who arrives and let's hope we're lucky. Okay, please join. I'm just writing to them now. And let's see who comes in. But really what I want to do is I want it to be a conversation. I don't know the way you normally work, but if you have questions, I hope it's going to be a conversation between the students, depending on how many can make it into the Zoom. And I want it to be a conversation. Please feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer anything. When the students come in, they'll also answer. Okay, they're just hopefully coming in now.
What is your time locally?
11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock at night. That's the problem when a couple of the students were unable to join because of the outage. It was too late for me to approach anybody else. So you'll have to forgive me if we don't get as big a group as I had hoped. But I'm sure the ones that come will do a beautiful job of representing their school. And I'm trying to think, just a second, would you please? Okay. Does anyone have any questions while we're waiting for them to join?
Marcia,
Students do you have and how many countries? Oh,
how many students are there and how many countries are represented?
Okay, so we have had students from around 35 countries in total since we began. Right now, about 1/3 of our international students are from African countries. Several from Eastern Europe and Southern Europe. We have from Vietnam. We have 2 who came from Venezuela. Actually, thanks to the Rotary connection. My colleague Nurit and I went to the Rotary International Conference in Houston a few years ago and met somebody at a Houston Rotary club meeting, who was wonderful, wonderful. And she was very inspired by our school. And she said, would you accept children from Venezuela? We said, we would love it. And she explained, the situation. And we said, as far as we're concerned, we would offer scholarships to the correct people from Venezuela. And we have 2 amazing students, and we're hoping to get another for next year. They bring something enormous to the school, and they will be Rotarians in the future. They were brought in by a Rotarian, and I'm sure they will be. They are true peacemakers. They are wonderful, 2 wonderful, they're twins, in fact, wonderful young people. We've had students from China, we've had from Russia and Ukraine, from Armenia and Turkey. I'm saying places that are in conflict. We've had from all over. Obviously, the last 2 years, you've got to be a little bit brave to come to Israel, but we've had people coming, and we do offer generous scholarships, and your supporters help with that too. So let me see where they are. Okay, I'm wondering where they are. Is anyone coming in? Whoever's bringing in is anyone waiting in the waiting room?
There are 2 online already.
Oh, who's there? Who's there now? Can I?
Hey Claire, are you asking about the
Hey,
student?
Bar, you're there. I can't see everybody. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not in the boarding school. I'm at home right now.
That's
Uh,
absolutely fine.
yeah,
So,
so I
Bar,
don't
do you
know the
want?
rest of.
And who else do I have there?
Sally, my camera is
Sally.
apparently not working.
Okay, so Sally and Bar, I explained because of the storms, Khaled can't come, and I'm not sure where Erez, but maybe what you guys can do is Well, you're just going to have to represent the school. Val, do you want to tell everybody? Actually, before we do that, is there someone from the Rotary Club who can just give a 1 minute introduction as to, because Val, did you know about Rotary before I told you the other day?
No.
So perhaps somebody could just give a 1 minute introduction of Rotary and its very important role in the world. Who might that be?
Well, I know that Israel is a Rotary district, and there are, I think, 5 or 6 clubs. There may be more. But when I was in Fullerton, we did a matching grant project with the Rotary Club of Jerusalem to equip a free children's clinic there. So Rotary has a strong presence in Israel.
Okay. And one of the things that we found when we went to the, Norita and I, when we went to the International Rotary Conference, is we very much felt that our missions really dovetail. Rotarians are very keen to do anything they can towards creating peace in the world and bringing people together, which is, I hope, what we're doing. So, Bar, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are? And I want it to be a conversation, ideally, between you and Sally and me. So,
Okay, well, hi. I heard you're from LA, so I'm assuming this is a good morning. Uh, Here it's 11 at night. I'm Bar. I'm a student at Younited. This is my third year being a student. I'm just now a senior. Uh, Before I came to the school, I'm actually an Israeli who lived in Lagos, Nigeria for 6 years with my family abroad. And then I decided that I want to come back to Israel, I guess, before my family did. So then I came to this boarding school as an Israeli international sort of mixed. And yeah, I had a great time. I'm having a great time.
Sally, you want to introduce yourself quickly? Not quickly, as long as
Okay,
you want.
hello everyone. I am so sorry my camera is apparently not working. I don't know why.
Oh,
But I'm Sally. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm a DP2 student. This is my DP2 as in grade 12. This is my second year in Younited School, and I heard about the school from a family friend that used to come here. And ever since I came here, I haven't regretted it. It was an amazing school, and I'm glad I've joined.
Yeah, there.
would the two of you like to what made you, Sally, want to join Younited initially? I mean, particularly at the time that you came. I mean,
Okay.
it was not the obvious move for, perhaps you can explain to our friends at the Rotary Club, when you arrived and what was going on in the country at the time.
Okay, so ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to go abroad and learn. I've always wanted to experience diverse cultures. And also, I grew up Christian, so it's always been a thing for me to visit Israel. I've always wanted to see things in Israel. And then I heard a friend was going here, and I was like, wow, I'd like to start that. I mean, I've always wanted to see Israel, and I've also wanted to learn abroad. So why not? I'm going to try it. But my friends weren't really happy about it because that year, October 8 has happened, and there was a war. October 7 has happened, and there was a war going on. And my mom wasn't really happy about it as well. It was my dad. My dad was like, it's okay, no worries, you can go. But my mom wasn't really happy. But the thought of looking at the page of like the website of Younited and thinking that Palestinians and Jews, Israeli Jews are together, eating from the same plate, it's something I would never expect. It's something that I never thought would happen. And also there are other students from all around the world, and it's like the ideal world in a small place. It's where people from all over the world with one vision come together. And I was like, you know what? Whatever's going on, I'm definitely going there. And here I am enjoying.
I wanted to chime in and tell you a little bit more about the similarities between your program and Rotary. Rotary has several areas of focus, among them peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, and community economic development.
I can definitely see where that correlates. I mean, I don't think there's many other schools that focus as much on conflict resolution as ours does, at least not in Israel. I can say that I joined in 10th grade, and the IB, you know what IB is?
Perhaps not. Perhaps. Hi,
So
Sally.
IB is
Great.
the
Lovely to
IB is
see you.
the
Great.
international education system, and that only starts actually at 11th grade. So when I arrived in 10th grade, it was actually meant only for Jews and Arabs, for local Jews and Arabs, where no internationals actually joined the grade yet. And it was about having us meet each other, having us live with each other, having us become friends, understand the other. We used to have bi-daily classes where it, it's just it's a class that isn't focused on anything more than talking about sharing perspectives, sharing about how we feel about the situation. Uh, it's called We Share. Um, I It helped me a lot. I joined just a month before October 7th, which was very strange for me because I hadn't lived in the country for a long time and I was pretty far away from it. And as it happened, I was sort of confused because I didn't know how it was going to turn out with the Palestinian Arabs in my grade, like who I thought I could became friends with, but again, it was just for 1 month. And I can say that that year that I had with them in the beginning, afterwards, it very much helped me, and I very much I can now definitely say that like my best friends are like my roommate who I love being with, or my friends that I hang out. Just tomorrow, I'm going for the weekend to see like Arab Palestinians. So there you go.
Is that normal though in Israel? Well, would you
That
say?
is far from normal. I also go to a youth movement that's not a part of the school, where it's just Jews, and I can tell you that when I speak with them about my experiences in the school, they're almost estranged to it. Having like just talking about living together sounds sounds just not it's not something that happens. It's it's not like I haven't seen other people from my age that can say that, they've even have an Arab friend. Okay, like if I go around and I'm like trips and I have my friends, right? And they say, "Yeah, I talked to a few Arabs once," or "Yeah, I saw them, I did this." But when I say I live with Palestinians, they're shocked, right? And I think that's something that school is doing incredible. Like
And I just wanted to ask you, do you feel that the stories you tell about United to your friends from which movement is it? Is it which youth movement?
it, it's called Sayrut, but it's not.
Okay, so when you tell the stories, do you feel that somehow you can influence them, through your words?
Definitely, definitely. I think there's just a lot of prejudice and like even with my family and my cousins, like you can see that when they talk about Arabs, like there's this notion that they hate us. And I'm having a really hard time being able, like, I understand where they're coming from, but also my personal experience contradicts that so much, like on such a level that I can't relate to the people who say that. Like when I tell people that I have a roommate who's Arab, like they ask me, "Are you not scared?" and scared is the last thing that I am. Like, no.
Well, we have a question from Phil Gabriel.
So on seventh and eighth, and the following days, did the staff and the teachers have to gather all the students and to say stuff like, you know,
I
this?
can't hear him very well. Could you?
It's very hard to hear, yeah.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Not very well.
The question is about what was the reaction of your students after October 7th?
Did the teachers have to gather everyone up and
Did the teachers need to gather all the students
Okay,
together?
so I can talk a little about that, but then I'm going to pass over to Val. So October 7th actually happened at the end of a week-long Jewish holiday. So our local students, Israelis and our Israeli, Jewish and Arab students were all actually at home, okay? Which meant that, and our international students were on campus. All schools in Israel closed at that point. Obviously, ours could not. We had international students on campus. We could, there was nothing we could do. It was a crazy, crazy time. There was a great deal of fear, confusion. Nobody understood what was happening for a period of time. Maybe we still don't understand. And we were unable to close. We had our internationals on campus. So there was a day or 2 days where on campus they did like circles to try and help the young people express their emotions, understand what was happening. I mean, for most of them, they'd only been, as Val said, they'd been at the school for what, 2.5 weeks? They came from all over the world. And so the teachers and the staff who we were all in the same boat, we had to focus on their needs. And then it was obvious that we had to carry on studying. So where all the schools in the country had stopped studying, because we were used already to the pandemic, we immediately went on to Zoom and lessons began again. And then, well, how was it? About 2 weeks 2 weeks they were at home, I think, till they were allowed to come back to school. And we did not honestly know whether these young people would come back to a school. We were undergoing an enormous trauma, and social media was doing its worst, and there was a lot of rumors and fear mongering and so on. And we did not know whether our Israeli students, Jewish and Arab students, would return. And Val, maybe you'll take it from there.
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you or any of the students connected with any Rotary clubs locally?
Sorry, well, sorry, maybe after as well. Yes, we are. We in fact recently had a visit, a very, very exciting visit from the current president of Rotary Israel, and Menachem, who has been involved with us for 2 or 3 years. We've actually done a couple of projects with Rotary clubs, with your club, and with the Haifa Club. Actually built a lab, and yes, we're looking to do something we're looking maybe at doing a global grant. And I know that the idea is they're going to bring in lots of different Rotary clubs, but certainly with having students from all over the world, it would be a very natural thing. But that's something that's just in the making at the moment, and we're excited about it. But I know that Mark and Lynn, who are great friends of the school, they'll be keeping you in touch with all of that. But Val, do you just want to talk a little bit more about what happened when everyone came back? Because it was quite interesting.
I can say that as a semi-international, with my family living abroad, right after October 7th, my parents got really worried and they told me you have to come back. So I actually went on Zoom for 2 months before I came back to school. And yeah, it was like there was some argument. Like I didn't know what I should be doing, like if I should even come back. Is it safe? Is it okay? Like I only knew these people for a month. It's kind of scary. A war just broke out. Um, I sort of I didn't know if the interpersonal relationships that I had there were worth going back for. Like, I was only there for a month, and most of that month was Jewish holidays. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the first month of the Jewish year, but it's filled with a lot of holidays. So I didn't get to know the people so well, and I was very scared to come back. But at the end, I decided it's worth giving a shot. And just like I said before, like week after week, I like at the beginning there was a lot of tension between the Arabs and Jews. We almost instantly separated into separate groups, like separate friend groups, and we didn't communicate between each other that much. But over time, like as we got closer, as we spent more time with each other in the same school, in the same classes, in the same halls, like you get to know people and you start talking. Like after a while, it got mixed, and after a while, it got better, and there was less tension, and we could all be friends. It wasn't about after after you get to meet someone on a personal level, just isn't their ethnicity isn't what defines them. That's what I'll.
So
Sally, oh,
I
sorry,
wanted
go
to ask
ahead.
a question about their transition. Once they arrived at the school, how has their career path or their career aspirations changed?
Okay, so we're quite a young school. We're in our 8th year now, so we've had 7 years. Again, I'm not sure if you're aware, but in Israel, there's national service, military service for many people, which is 3 years. So even our first cohorts, the Israeli Jewish students are only now just starting their university and so on. Um, but I would say absolutely. I think that the internationals and the Arab students that have gone on to university have absolutely been impacted in their choices. Not everybody. Some people have, they knew they wanted to be an electrical engineer and they're going to be an electrical engineer. It doesn't matter. But most of them, regardless of what they're doing at university, are involved with other activities, particularly on campus. And then when they go into their careers, it's very early days. But yes, we stay in contact with our graduates. It's very important to us that they continue to hold the mission.
Now, I wanted to ask the two students who are with us on Zoom what if there'd been a change in the way in their career path or their adult aspirations since arriving at the school. Var and Salom.
Talia, why don't you answer?
Okay. For me, I like the first moment I came to the school, I knew what I wanted to be. I did not have a change in aspiration. I wanted to be a cardiologist. Coming here, at first I was worried. I remember I even emailed Yardena, our admission director, about it before I applied for the scholarship. I was like, is this for students who want to pursue specifically in social sciences, or does it matter and stuff like that? And then I realized the school also actually develops leadership for students. And I realized leadership is not only in political stuff, in conflict resolution. Leadership can be in many things. Leadership starts from your personal life. Leadership starts from how you go on and talk to your friends. Leadership starts from how you lead classes. Leadership starts from all the small things we do. Leadership starts from ourselves. So I think I would say it made my aspiration even more stronger. As I said, I would love to be a cardiologist. I do want to do other things side by side. I also love singing, but coming to the school made my aspiration and also developed my leadership, and it made everything stronger, I would say.
And can I just ask, since you're speaking about wanting to be a cardiologist, I'm sure that our friends would like to know the reason why, because it's quite an interesting story and sad.
Yes. It's a long story, but okay. So when I
2 minutes.
was young, okay, 2 minutes. Okay, maybe less. Okay, I had a younger sister who had a problem with heart case. She was suffering with pulmonary stenosis. We didn't know she had a heart case until she turned at about 6 months old. And once my parents found out, they were going to the hospital, always spending nights, spending the day. And I was about 7 years old. And I didn't know what was going on. My parents didn't really tell me why they're going or how they're going. I just know she was sick. I didn't even know anything. And then suddenly I was told she died. And they didn't even tell me she died at first. They were like, I asked, her name was Rayma, and I was like, where's Rayma? And they're like, she went to heaven. I'm like, really? Did she fly to heaven? And then they're like, yes. I even, like, there was a window that connected my bedroom and my parents' bedroom, and I saw the coffin, and I thought it was a suitcase for sending my sister's clothes to heaven. And I remember asking, but then later on they told me the issue. They told me that the doctor was supposed to take blood from the like the doctor took blood from the wrong place. And then I realized how messed up the medical system in my country is. And also, my sister was supposed to get a better treatment abroad to the States, and we were asked for billions and billions of dollars. And it wasn't something my family could afford. That was really way out of our expenses. Thankfully, we did found a sponsor, and then we're like, you know what, finish all the visa process, and then I'll cover everything. And then, okay, so my parents started the visa process. That's when the doctor messed up, gave her the wrong syringe, and then my sister passed away. And I think the thought of people having to pay money for their natural right just pains me. Although I do believe there should be fee for any labor, but I also believe that health is our God-given right. I believe that if someone is sick, they should get the right for treatment. And it makes me feel really bad. It pained me. It pained me how people that had money could actually get the treatment in a really short amount of time, but people with less money could lose their loved ones. And I wanted it to be available for everyone and anyone. And so I have a dream of me opening one, like wanting to open a hospital and everything. Yeah, so this is why I want to be a cardiologist.
Question.
Question here, Mark?
Yes. Do they hear me?
I'll repeat your question.
All right. Since you're surrounded by Arab countries, I assume that the Arab culture will be taught to you at some point in time. I was wondering how that culture is taught to you, in what way?
The question is about Israel being surrounded by Arab countries and how the culture of those countries has been communicated to you.
And in what way?
In what way?
Does either of you do global politics? No. Okay.
Once again, Claire?
No, we have a. I think that we don't. We have a part of the IB curriculum is a fantastic program called Global Politics, which many of our students do take as part of their diploma. And I know that within global politics, they look at many different situations in the world to do with democracy and to do with authoritarianism and so on. Specifically, it's focusing on Israel and its neighbors. So it's brought up through that part of the curriculum. I don't think it's something that, I mean, is it something that's sort of discussed extracurricularly, guys? Our relationship with our
From
Arab neighbors?
no, I don't think
Uh,
I don't think neighboring countries' culture is something that we focus on. I think the culture of the local Arabs is, for example, after school, it's a sort of a cultural dance, for example. It's called Dabke that one of our classmates is managing. And there's a bunch of students from our grade who join, and it's just singing with Arab music and Arab dancing. And that could be one part of it. But I don't think there's no formal education to like that. There is in global politics, but there isn't. It's not something that every student uh, receives.
But
Yeah.
presumably, like what happens in Ramadan, for example?
Oh, I can say that during holidays, for example, in Ramadan, I'm a Jew. If I didn't say before, but I did fast with my Muslim friends. Um, I for during the month, I did it for around a week. And it was great. It was fun. We learned about how it is, why it works, why they don't fast, like why they only fast when the sun is down. And I learned a bit about their culture, so I can attest to
Yeah.
that. But
I can also speak from an international perspective. I mean, like, I'm surrounded by both the Jews and the Arab culture, and like, I learn a lot from both. During Ramadan, I can say stuff like, okay, so people like students who decide to fast with the Muslim students also get to wake up really early. I think 3 or 5 a.m. I'm not sure. 3 a.m. I think. And then they would just go up and then they'd do iftar and then they'd eat and then they'd go back and then they'd fast the whole day. And then there were students, non-Muslim students, that actually did the whole fasting. And it was really fun. Once the Ramadan fasting ended and it was the holiday, the whole school had, it was an on-campus weekend where like both the locals and international stayed, and we had an iftar for the whole school, and we ate together, we socialized together. It was a really bonding and amazing moment, I would say. I think it brought us closer. It made us learn more about each other because for some people religion means a lot, and I think being able to resonate with that prioritized side of them is was meant a lot to me, and I got to know them more, I got to bond with them more over it, and it was really interesting, and I was really happy to be a part of it.
Well,
yeah,
we've come to the end of,
personally,
and I wanted to thank Claire
Yeah.
and Bar. Pardon, one more question?
Yeah. It's a question. The gentleman, young man, he was with a group of his own peers, Jewish Israeli, and they were shocked about him rooming with a Arab. Is he going to invite those Arabs, their friends, together so that they can create a difference in their community?
This is a question for Bar. You mentioned that you told your Jewish friends that you were rooming with an Arab, and they seemed surprised about that. Do you have any plans to bring those two groups together? Your Arab friends and your Israeli acquaintances?
um, I didn't think about doing a sort of bringing two groups together, but I can say that on a personal level with the friends, like for example, with my two or three friends from the youth movement, then I have I have brought closer friends together, but not in the format of a large group. It wasn't something that I did for like 10 people, 10 people. It was more like, hey, this is my friend from over here. Hey, this is my one or two friends from there. And that was interesting. I think it helped both sides. I think it definitely helped my Jewish friends kind of understand where I'm coming from a little better. And they told me later that it was that it was interesting for them to see that. So that is something that I did, but I didn't plan on doing it, so it kind of happened by accident.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your late nights with us. And our Rotary meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, and thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, have a good day.